going live right now. Make sure that. Okay, maybe. Oh, we're live. We're here. It's real. What's up, everybody? I don't feel like I need to figure out a way to come in with a bang, or really. Oh shit balls! Hold on. There's my bang. Yeah. What's up, everybody? It's just so weird starting out. It's like yesterday when I was trying to record my. Oh man, my voice is already. It's scared. My voice is scared. I'm scared to lose it. I can't be. Okay, so I'm gonna try to be quiet today. No, but yesterday I was trying to record my program for Sync to do just a run through, which hilariously we went back to watch it and I apparently didn't record anything. And I pushed myself to get through it so that even though I was losing my voice, I pushed myself to get through it because I was recording, and then we went back to watch it and it was gone. So anyway, what's up, Tim Goats? Today we are going to talk about something that I think is really necessary. I think too many photographers out there are scared to create relationships and to create, what would be the, I'm trying to think of connections. Connections, that's what I'm talking about. Create connections with other photographers in their local areas. And we have this fear, this belief that other people are trying to steal from us or trying to copy everything we do. And today, that's what we're going to talk about. The power of networking with local photographers. But first, a word from me. Hopefully it's loud.
What's up, guys? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sam Marvin, and I have been in the photography industry for 25 plus years. While I love being a creative, business is my passion, and elevating the industry of photography is my focus. I created the 7-Figure Photographer to share my journey to 7 figures and help others find their way too.
Okay. So, what's up, everybody? I hope you guys are all having a wonderful week. I know I am. I've been kind of lazy this week. It's been a struggle. I know that there's lots to do, but I think it's almost crippling me a little bit. But I've actually gotten quite a bit done. I'm not getting it done as fast as I thought I wanted to, but I feel like I'm actually ahead. So it's kind of a random, weird, I just feel lazy. But today I was like, I'm doing this. I'm getting in, doing a live, even though I kicked myself in the balls this morning for some odd reason. Not like, you know what I'm talking about. I've kind of got in my own head. And I hope you guys realize how real that is for everybody. I don't care where you're at in your business. Mia and I were talking about it this morning. I didn't even realize that, all the different things that she gets in her head about, over nothing. I mean, I say nothing. It is a lot to you. It's something huge to you, and it's something huge to me. I get in my own head. So I want you guys to understand and know that, no matter how, you think that, I'm beginning to think people don't think I have my crap together. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe, yeah, maybe it's the perspective. Maybe people don't realize that, that we have our crap together. But oh well. Anyway, I don't care. You can think what you want. I know what I know. So, Jennifer Biddle, welcome. Nice to have you here. Haven't seen you in a long time. Before we get rolling in, I do need to remind you, if you are watching from the link that we sent out via text, or if you clicked on the link in Facebook, it does take you into YouTube. And if you're just watching on that connection part and it says open app, make sure that you click on open app and you go into the YouTube app. That allows you to select the live chat and be able to communicate with us. Obviously, those of you who are in here got it figured out. But don't forget to do that. Also, we're excited. We are going to announce the Business Book of the Month winner. Where did all the books go? Oh, they're over there. I put them away. Dang it. Do you have the other one that we got to ship out?
Yeah.
Where is it? Put away. So, for those of you who don't know, if you went to imaging this 2 weeks ago, a week ago, how long ago? It was a while ago. A month ago? Oh, a week ago. Okay. It feels like it's been forever ago. I want to go back. I'm ready to go back and see my people. I'm super stoked about Sync. But if you were there and you got to see the keynote speaker, Mike McCallix, he's honestly my favorite author of all time. I love everything he puts out. Literally every book he's ever put out is like, I love it. It's mind-blowing. Annie Bingham's here? Our #1 fan has shown up? It's about time. I was about to take that away from her. I'm just kidding. So get different. This book is going to be the February book of the month. Are you guys so proud? Today is what's today? But I still announced it, huh? Oh yeah, you are. That's all right. I can unmute. Now you're unmuted. So it's the 27th. I'm going to announce who the winner is, but I already announced what the book is, and James Wood has already jumped forward and tried to been like, he's all like, hey, can we talk about it? Absolutely, James. Get in and talk about it. I love the engagement that's been going on, so get to it. But this is the Business Book of the Month. I did announce it mid-January for next month, so I'm on top of it. Tim, you're my #1 guy fan. We just tease Annie because Annie was like the first follower on YouTube. She's like the #1 subscriber on YouTube. And she literally, like, everything I put out online, she buys, like, even if she doesn't ever use it. So you got a little catching up to do on that. I'm just kidding, Tim. You don't have to buy anything. But anyway, we got the Business Book of the Month. Marietta St. Onge.
Wow, you did that well.
Do you think that was good?
Yeah.
Do you think she'd be like,
I'm so proud.
bravo? I don't. So here's the thing. Marietta is just on our text stuff. She's not even a member of Seven Figure Photographer. Yep. If you know her, reach out to her. Let her know that she won the Business Book of the Month. If you are not on the Business Book of the Month, go 208-266-5001. Text the word, well, frick, I don't even remember which one. Is it just BBOM? I don't know. Well, text different. Text different. And you won't actually be entered to win this one because we just announced the winner. But I will send her out a message. Just wanted to let you guys know that I'm on top of it. I'm so good.
You've got your crap
together.
I'm
so proud. I'm so proud of myself. I got my crap together for once in my life. We're gonna put that back there because I just like all those colors and beauty and yeah. As you can see, I've actually got 2 of them. I got another one in the bookshelf. Okay, so that's the Business Book of the Month. Let's talk about the good stuff. Now, this is one that I feel really passionate about, guys, and I got to tell you, it's really quite interesting because when I first became a photographer, I was 15 years old. I started the business when I was 15, and I went to a lot of photographers, and I asked people to help me, people to give me some direction in what I was doing. I was a young kid. I had a teacher that was helping a little bit, but that was only to a certain degree. The photography programs just weren't what they are today, and I just didn't have anybody to help me. Nobody wanted to help their competition. That was really those were the words that I heard from so many people. Like, people were like, look, I don't want to train my competition. That's what it came down to. So I never had anybody to help me in my photography business. It wasn't until about 7 or 8 years ago when I decided to start networking with other photographers that my business really just took off. And honestly, it started with our local organization, Professional Photographers of Idaho. I got into Seniors Ignite, into Sync. So all these different things were a huge help to me growing my business. And a lot of it was based on the concept of I was seeing other people and seeing what other people were doing. And it gave me the inspiration to know that I could do it as well. So I'm going to give you 5 or 6 different things about why you should consider. Now, I'm not talking about like with sync or with imaging. Everybody goes outside of their state and finds other people that they love to talk to and communicate with. Very few people, I can't say very few people, but there's a lot of you who have that mentality of, well, like this person's just trying to take all my ideas. They're copying everything I do. I still do it. There's a photographer here locally that, like, if you looked at their website, you'd be like, well, geez, they got the colors and everything from us, and there's reasons to believe that, but whatever, like, who cares? It's a matter of who does it better, and he does it better.
Still.
Yeah,
we're getting there.
still.
We're getting
But
there.
anyway, but when you network with other photographers in your local area, one of the biggest things that I can tell you gain from this is understanding your competitors. Now, when you understand your competitors, it does a lot for your brain. Now, if you were to just pick any photographer in town, let's just for fun, well, Tiffany Hicks. Tiffany Hicks is a great example. I used to get so frustrated with Tiffany Hicks because, like, no matter, even still today, like if you go and you search anything in photography, Tiffany Hicks is like one of the top that pops up in on the SEO. So I was like, man, what is she doing? Like, even after I spent a lot of time building my business, I knew that Tiffany didn't shoot like a ton of seniors. I was shooting a ton of seniors, and she was still popping up as the top for seniors because she knew what she was doing with SEO. But Tiffany's one of my very best friends now. And I love the relationship that we have because we go to each other for help. We look to each other for help and insight on different things. Like, you know, she knows more of certain things than I do, and I know maybe more of certain things that she doesn't. And so we utilize each other for those things. But one of the biggest things that I struggled with for a long time until I got to know Tiffany was this just overwhelming feeling of like, I'm never going to be as good as her. I'm never going to be as, you know, like at her caliber. I'm never going to be like whatever it is. As I got to know her and I became friends with her, and this has happened with tons of other photographers, it puts it all into perspective. And I no longer beat myself up about where I'm at versus where Tiffany's at, or versus where, you know, B&B Photography is at, because I understand their business. I understand the things that they go through in their life. And I understand that we do things completely different, like on massive levels, completely different. Barb Bergson, an amazing photographer here locally. One of my favorite things about her is she posts pictures of her shoes every day. I don't know that she's been doing it as much anymore. But, you know, as I got to know her a little bit, or know a little bit about her, I actually didn't really get to meet her face to face until just this year when we were out on a shoot. But I got to know a little bit about her, and I know that like she's not into doing the hair and makeup stuff and all that experience garbage or fluff for seniors as like what we are. And so people that aren't in like looking for that kind of experience or that kind of service might be better off to go to her. Whereas if they are looking for that experience, she's a great resource to say, hey, if you want that over-the-top experience, go see Sam. So keep in mind that, like, it's not understanding how to dupe your competitors. It's not understanding how to get a hand up on your competitors. It's understanding who your competitors are for a number of different reasons, but also for your own mental wherewithal about understanding, okay, like, these people look like they're over the top, incredible, like just killing it, slaying it. But when you get to understand them, like they might just be really well stuck within their little their little box of what they do. And you may not even have, there may not be anything about the two of you that compete in any level. I'm going to go into this more coming up, but that's a huge thing. The more you can understand about your target, the better you can support them, the better you can understand them, the better you can just know that what you're doing is good and you don't have to work. And I'm talking a lot about the imposter syndrome here. Just that belief that you're not good enough, or you're never going to be as good as so-and-so, or, or they're stealing all your ideas or whatever. That's the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard in my life. Like, get over it. If you think people are stealing your ideas, guess what? You're probably not the first person that ever had that idea. So I love you. Sorry to put it to you bluntly, but that's the way it is. Mia, anytime you're ready to chime in, you just let me know.
I'm good right now.
Okay. She's good. Anybody want to see Mia? Here's Mia. Mia's on. Mia loves to be on camera.
No, we were all good.
Okay. So moving on, the next one I want to talk about is you can learn from other photographers in your local area and or better your competition. Like, it's okay to put yourself into other people, or to share yourself with other people, because what it allows you to do is it allows you to better the competition in your industry. When there's better competition, it means that consumers have better selection, better choices, better opportunities. It means that the pricing is better. For instance, Annie, since she's here, Annie just had a huge win and probably overcame one of the most challenging, well, not really. She's always been pretty good about like understanding her value and her pricing. But we just raised her pricing not too long ago, and she had she had her biggest headshot sale ever. And just overcoming that little bit of like fear of like jacking your prices up, that is a huge mental hurdle that sometimes you can't get through on your own. Like, some photographers sit there forever struggling with this whole concept of I'm too scared to do it. I'm too scared to like change my prices. What if I change my prices and my clients just stop coming? Getting over that hurdle is one of the biggest like just kick in the butt that you can get. I've seen people now get over that single hurdle and be able to just go crazy out of this world. What are some of the Mia's got? Do you have some questions coming through on?
No, Annie just mentioned how she remembered how scared she was when she first went to the PPI lunch.
Yeah.
And she said, I for sure thought that those pros were going to find out I'm a fraud, and I had no idea what I was doing. She said the imposter syndrome, big time. And then just because I can throw you under the bus. I remember that, yeah, because, well, you're not under the bus, but I remember the first time I went to, I was super scared to go to the PPI lunch, and then they spilled that whole pitcher of water down your pants. Do you remember that?
Oh, no, it was Diet Coke.
Oh, it was Diet Coke?
Yeah.
I didn't remember what it was.
Actually,
and
it was
I just
Diet
remember
Pepsi.
you kept your cool so well. You, like, stood up, and you're like, I mean, it was classic, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. It was awesome.
And I didn't even realize that I was that cool that I didn't freak out when somebody poured Diet Coke. Anyway, no, that is, you've never even told me that aspect. I didn't know that I did so well at that.
You did so well. You did so well. And you got up and you like finished your little, you were doing it like on the pumpkin
that
plan.
was
Yeah, because when it was still when we were doing like little spiels and stuff.
Yeah.
And you got up.
Wasn't that dude drunk?
I don't know, but you were like, your whole pants were
I was
wet and you're
drenched.
like standing there just talking about the pumpkin plan. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Another Mike McCallow's book, The Pumpkin Plan.
That's
Shameless
a good
plug.
one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get it. But I want you guys to understand like the power of being able to learn from other people. We have a group of friends that are all photographers, and honestly, I love it. Like, I've really enjoyed having my group of friends. Partly because I love being able to just talk about business or talk about photography, or I just love helping people. And so I can't say that I'm the only one that's helped people like in our group, because we all help each other. And that's honestly like one of the best part about our friends group is just that like there's not any of that weirdness. Like, if anybody had any question, we would ask without any of that concern of people are going to think I'm a fraud, and Annie, for you, even I have to this day, like, I'll tell you guys a fun story. Last night I had some bizarre anxiety. And like, I had this moment where I woke up and I was like, okay, what if I don't make it to 7 figures as a senior portrait photographer in the next couple of years and everybody starts to think I'm a fraud because I haven't made it there? Because that's like the whole point of 7-figure photographer is I'm trying to share my journey because that's my goal. I'm not saying that I'm making 7 figures in senior portraits. That's my goal, is just in senior portraits to make 7 figures, $1 million in a year on senior portraits. But what if I don't get there in the next 2 years or 3 years? And people are sitting here thinking like, Sam, I've been watching you for this long and you still haven't gotten there. Like it kind of crippled me last night. Like I got really upset about it. Like I was, and it's one of those almost subconscious things because I wasn't even fully awake, but I remember very vividly, and it really frustrated me. I was like, what if I never, like maybe I should change the name of the 7-figure photographer, because what if I never get there? And so I want you to understand, this is one of those benefits of being with other photographers or being able to network with other photographers, to understand where our pains are and where our challenges are. Annie feeling like just going to lunch with other photographers might think that she's a fraud. Well, guess what? Guess whose headshot that I use for all of my stuff? It's a headshot that Annie took. So regardless of if you think you're a fraud, that is all just imposter syndrome. And, you know, it's scary for me to even share that concept, what happened to me last night, with you guys, because it was a real, like an absolute real fear. It was a real thing that kind of just overcame me last night. So, and it's not even that I'm not even afraid of like any of the other stuff. I'm afraid of not being able to make it happen and have people be like, well, dude, we've been here for 3 years and you're still not, like, whatever. So anyway, just remember that everybody goes through those things. And that's one of the benefits of having other photographers in your network that are local, because you can, as long as you guys can be real with each other. And I think that that's one of the things we've done really well, is allowing each other to just be real about all of that. Do you want to add anything to that, Mia, now that you're on camera?
No.
Or what?
That's my big profound drop. No.
No. That's it? Just
That's
no?
it. No.
All right,
I think you covered that one.
Mia out. Okay. So the next part is, and this is really cool. We've been talking a lot about, well, there's the book, Get Different. We've been talking about how to be different, how to be a blue ocean and a Red Sea kind of thing. Like, and what that means is like when everybody's doing all the same thing, how do you stand out? How do you be different? Well, when you know and understand what everybody in your local market is doing, you have a better chance to say, you know what? Nobody else is doing it this way. This gives me an opportunity to be different. So one of the coolest things about this is it's an opportunity that all just kind of ran together almost in a, it gives you an opportunity to look at all of your fellow market photographers. This is one of the reasons, this is probably one of the biggest reasons I want to meet every photographer in the state of Idaho, because I want to understand how they do business, where they're strong, where they're weak, maybe even help them make their weak things strong, but also to understand, okay, what can I see that's different about my market, and what can I do to be different? Or where can I see what everything is the same? For instance, like the whole concept of direct mail. Direct mail is not something anybody that I know of. Now, there's probably still some people that are doing it, but specifically for seniors, it used to be the big thing. But now everybody thinks, oh, I gotta be good on social media because that's where the marketing's at. Well, it's so like in everybody's faces that like you don't even notice it anymore. It's too common. And so we've changed, and we're still doing that, but we're also doing direct mail. Any input on that, Mia, because you're on camera now?
I just think I notice you doing it a lot where you want to sometimes avoid, like when I'm talking about SEO or looking at the site stuff, you're like, I don't want to see what they're doing. I don't want to see, because I don't want to copy. And I think it kind of goes back to what you were saying before about how come on, we have ideas, but we've all had these ideas, and other people have had them before too. And I think there is something good that comes from looking at where other people are, how they dress, how they act, so that you can just kind of see who you are within that. Like you're saying, you find what makes you different and then really hone in on that. But you're not going to know. If you don't get out there, you're never going to figure that out, because you could be doing the exact same thing as your competitor and not even know it because you're too afraid to go find out. So
Well, and a perfect example of that, like, it is really good. I've always, like, I hate that whole, like, feeling when people say, and honestly right now, like, most people could be like, say you're copying me, or somebody said that you're copying me, and I could be like, probably not, because I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to, like, other people's websites, or I don't even spend a lot of time on social media other than TikTok and Facebook with this group. But you actually brought it to my attention with the other stuff. Like, you actually were the one that brought it to my attention. And since we've actually reached out to that person because of what I'm going to talk about here in a minute, like, understanding, again, trying to understand their business to see where we can differentiate ourselves, where we can kind of, like, change things up, and also so I can understand what my competition is and what they're doing. Not to try to, like, I can't tell you how many times, not so much anymore, but maybe I just don't even pay attention, or I don't care anymore, but other photographers will call us, and you can tell that they're other photographers just by the questions they ask. You're like, okay, those are not normal people questions that, like, you get asked. And so you can tell when photographers are shopping you, and it's like, no big deal. Like, call me up and say, Sam, what's your pricing? Dude, I will give you every bit of it.
yeah, you'd like to throw me under the bus on that one. Have
Why?
people call and try and...
Well, I've only done, no, that was not me. That was Tim. That was Tim's idea.
No, I was talking about Tiffany, not Tim.
Oh, yes, I did it once to you with Tiffany.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. But I don't mind. Like, if somebody wanted to call me and ask me my pricing, I'd give it to them. If somebody wanted to know in fact, a bunch of my senior portrait competitors are here on Seven Figure Photographer. They don't pay attention to a lot of the stuff on here. But if they came on here, they could literally learn everything about my business and what I do without paying a penny. Like, they could learn it all. They'd have to piece it all together. And that's why when it comes down to the coaching aspect, the difference is that we put it in order, we put it together, and we help you stay on task. So differentiating yourself, that's, like, one of the biggest aspects, something that can help you just huge in what you do.
James wanted to know if last year was the first year you did mailing. I know it's the first year you've done it since I've been here, but was it the first time ever?
I never actually did, let me cut back to, I never did direct mail before. I've looked at it, I've seen it, I've heard about it. I've known about it for years, and I've avoided it for years because it used to be what everybody did. We're talking, when I say used to be, we're talking like a long time ago. But it just was one of those things, like, honestly, when we went out and visited Sal, and Sal was doing direct mail, and I was like, you know what? Like, it is something that nobody else is doing anymore. But what was interesting is when we were driving back, we stopped in Denver and we saw Ross, and Ross actually, like, there were all these big studios in Denver that were still doing direct mail. And I was like, you know what? Maybe let's give it a try, because maybe it's something.
And Gary Box
different.
talked about it at the Sync, in last Sync when we went to that jump start. He had talked about it too.
Did he?
Yep.
Yeah, I do remember that. I think that was part of what.
Yeah, we kind of started talking about it, then we saw Sal's. And then
and then when we saw Sal, I was like, we should buy a printer.
We should do that. And then it turned into this huge, amazing thing.
Amazing?
Amazing. This was amazing. It was fun.
It's been fun. It has been fun, but it's
amazing.
It's work. It's a lot of work, but I love work. I don't care. Okay, moving on to the next, referrals. Now, I know this might shock you. Maybe it won't shock you. One of my favorite things to do, because if you're coming to Sync, you're going to see my program about improving the customer journey. I go as far as believing that it's important to improve a situation for even leads that aren't going to book you. I'm a real proponent of, if somebody calls and says, hey, how much is it? And I tell them and they're like, bleh, then I can, or if they're like, I want all of this for this much money, I can say, you know what, we're probably not the photographer for you, but I would love to give you some referrals for people that I think or that I know would take care of you. And that's part of the reason that I reached out to the photographer that I was talking about on here, is because I want to understand how their business works, what they charge, because I want to be able to say to this client, you know what, this photographer is great, and their price point is going to be a little bit closer to this, and I'm going to give you that referral because I truly know and believe that they will take care of you. And to me, it means as much to me to send somebody off not being my customer, knowing that they're like, you know what, that guy, like, despite the fact that I didn't take my business to him, he still cared enough about his industry to say, here's somebody good to work with. And I think that that's so vitally important to consumers, because it just overall, it makes our industry better. Now, I want to share a story about it. There's a local photographer here who's actually one of my competitors in the senior market. Somebody that's been really pushing hard at making a name and a big splash for themselves. And they actually gave a referral for one of my coaching clients for baby photography. Those of you who know, you know who Brianna is. And it was actually really interesting because the story that I told you, in fact, actually, this all comes back to the story that I told you about how she called me saying, should I fire this client? Like, they don't even know who I am. They're coming from Nampa, and I don't think that they're going to be ready for my pricing. And she was freaking out, and I told her, no, you've booked them. It's your responsibility to just take the best care of them you can now. And they ended up being over a $7,000 sale. And that is huge. Like, to know that client was so happy with the experience that they had, and that was a referral from another photographer. Now, digging in more, I know that the photographer that referred her didn't even know her. They just loved her work. So imagine how much better that could be if there was a good connection or a good relationship there or something established. And I think that it's really important on the flip side to turn around and take care of those people that take care of you. I know one of her biggest sales this year has a senior. I'm talking about Brianna, one of my coaching clients. One of her biggest sales this year has a senior, and she has raved about that experience with us and has pushed them towards us. And I would expect we'll potentially get that call at some point in time this year. If we don't, we don't. But what a great experience to have that opportunity where you can say, you know what, I know what your needs are from what you told me, and I want to send you to somebody that I know is going to take care of you. And sometimes that comes back to you, because sometimes, photographers will reach out and take care of. I've gotten some incredible, in fact, one of the photographers that is here local, they've kind of stepped away from the senior market. In fact, partly because when we really came into the senior market, we put a hurting on their senior market. And so they chose to go a different, towards a different avenue of focus, which they have done exceptional at. But they have sent referrals to us. And people that actually work for them, like their accountant that actually works for them, they sent her to us for senior pictures. And then she actually, again, in turn, referred us on to one of our big sales for this year that we just had. And so I think it's so important to realize that resource. This is a business resource that you may not realize. Like, imagine if one other photographer was the source of $10,000 worth of income for your business. Do you realize how huge that is? Like, I see you shaking your head over there, Mia, but like that's huge. That's really, really huge. And so that is, I think, one of those missed connections. Have you ever seen the Facebook the Craigslist missed connections? That's one of those missed connections that I think we forget about. Network and market with other photographers, because that B2B understanding, if you share with your friends and they understand you're a great resource to take care of people, they will refer people onto you for business. And you could, if you're doing what's right, you could make a killer sale on it. So so that referral network is, I think, vital. Number 4, you get out what you put in. What I mean by this is, I really hope I don't step on any toes here.
Tread lightly.
One of the most common questions you see out there on Facebook groups, on anything, is, can somebody tell me where a good location is? Okay. It's probably one of the most frustrating questions I hear from people asking, because for me, and I explain it like this, is I have given locations out before. And as Mia can attest, when we go out on shoots, we very rarely even see other photographers when we're out on shoots. It can partly have to do with the time that we shoot, but most of the time it's locations that we choose. There's a couple of locations we go that are literally just like overrun with photographers. We don't go to those locations very often, or unless they're specifically requested, or if there's something specific that we need in that location. But most of the locations we go to, you never see another photographer. Now, the benefit to that is a number of different things. Number one, I have been standing at a park before taking pictures and had like 2 to 3 photographers line up behind me. That's not very creative work. When people line up behind you because they want to use the same spot, it's obnoxious. It is what it is. If you're going to be at those parks, you just got to deal with it. But I've had locations where I've shared with people that I valued, people that I thought would keep it relatively good, people that didn't, like locations that I didn't, that I specifically had permission to be in, but other photographers didn't, and those locations were shut down completely, gated off. We're seeing it really bad right now in Boise, in our area. A lot of like locations that we've just always had simple access to, just public access, have been shut down, gated off, and we've lost like just huge amounts of special locations, at least locations that I've shot. And it can be because of like just overrun, people that don't take care of things, people throwing garbage. Sometimes it's not even photographers. Yeah. But my point in saying this is, there's photographers out there that will oftentimes just ask like, hey, I just need help with locations. But yet they haven't given anything of value in return. They're just literally searching for the easy way on something that we've all put a lot of effort and time into. And that part is challenging because, people want this. And part for me, understanding that I have literally spent days where I drove out and I drove miles north and south, a mile at a time or 10 miles at a time, up and down north and south facing roads, and just back and forth, gridding the whole like city, just watching for locations. We have like a whole map of pinpoints on Google Maps that we pin, and it's literally like identified as like flowers in June, or bridges, or tall blonde weeds is what I call them. So all these different things are like, we've put a lot of work into that. And for somebody to just say, hey, will you tell me all the good locations? Or to get frustrated because photographers don't share locations. However, my friends group and the photographers that have put value into me, that have spent time with me, that have shared their own things with me, if they were to ask me tomorrow, like Annie, if Annie called me tomorrow and said, Sam, I'm struggling, like I don't know where to shoot this specific shot, I would literally send her a pin for where to shoot. I wouldn't beat around the bush. I get messages on Instagram. In fact, I got one last week like, hey, is this location here? I'm like, it's somewhere up there. And it's not to be rude. It's not to be rude. It's just that I want people to put the effort in. Show me that you're willing to put the effort in, because I don't know you from Adam. Show me that you're willing to put the effort in, and then I'll, when I understand you and your business a little bit better, then I'm a little bit more willing to share. But that means that you're going to give a little, get a little. So it's not just a take, because all too often, I feel like at that point, when you're asking location stuff in a scenario like that, it's all too often just Just give me. Just tell me how to do it. And that, like, I'm not a fan of people that are like, just tell me how to do it. I want people that are willing to put in the effort. In some situations, I understand, like in some situations, like I was talking to somebody this morning, and that's a situation of like, you know what, their time just isn't spent well working on that stuff. And so they want to just pay somebody to teach them how to do that. Totally get that. Totally understand it. All about it. Mia, what do you think of this?
I think like the give and take is there for everything. I don't want to make anybody feel bad. I hate that kind of a thing, but a lot of times photographers don't want to hang out with other, or at least some that I've met. And I think I want to almost throw the women under the bus. I think we're worse at it. But we think other people are going to take our ideas, or so we don't want to share, but we will easily come meet up and just sit there and listen to everybody else. And I think you can learn from anybody and everybody. And I don't think you can ever overshare. I mean, because you say it all the time, and I love the saying that you could give everything to somebody, they'd still have to work harder than you at it to knock you out of the competition.
They got to want it worse than I do.
And so it comes down to that. Like, we're with groups all the time, and they're like, well, what's the value in it for me? And it's, well, what value have you put in? Once you put in a value, then you'll start to understand what value you're getting back out of it. Because as soon as you start serving, you learn regardless. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that really is vital because, like, people, it really is what you put into it is what you'll get out of it. But I think that there's just so much. And one of the things, one of the groups that stands out to me is the Boise Betties.
I wasn't going to say it. I just threw the women under the bus.
It's just a group of women that basically are saying, look, we don't need the men in the industry. And that's hurtful because, like, for me, I'd give the shirt off my back to anybody to teach them photography to make my industry better and to make them have a better chance at success. Because unfortunately, the women in the industry, it's hard because you guys are mothers and you feel that stronger need to make sure that you're not only just taking care of your home, but your kids, and then also this business. And when you're spread too thin, you're the first to say, you know what, my priorities lie here.
Yep.
And I absolutely hate when I see female photographers up and leave the industry because of that, because I know that it could have been avoided if they would have just understood some of the key principles to business, like how to price themselves, how to manage their time better. And it just breaks my heart. And it really breaks my heart when they have groups of just women that don't need us
that
men.
Don't need you. But I think part of it is too,
I call it the He-Man Woman Haters Club.
You kind of get stuck in that when you're all in that same situation, you almost support each other staying in that situation.
Yeah, you kind of keep.
Yeah,
it's like you put 5 crabs in a bucket, none of them will ever get out.
Yeah, you're not raising each other. They're outbidding each other for $35 shoots because I have to work harder and I can only and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
And I actually meant the She-Man Woman Haters Club.
She-Man
Man Haters Club.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
There's a lot of good that can come out of groups like that, but
there definitely is.
But again, you have to put value in, and
exactly.
You have to be honest when you're in there. I think
and don't limit yourself.
Well, I think along with this, there is something to that authenticity or the laying the numbers out on the table, if you want to put it that way. Like, get rid of the smoke and the mirrors. Like, people on here, as you were saying about how you were having that anxiety about never getting 7 figures. I think it was, I'm trying to scroll back through. I think it was Deborah, maybe it was Tim. They're like, we wouldn't even know nor care. And I think there's so much value in just putting your numbers out on the table. This is where I am. And don't be ashamed of where you are, because there's always someone below you and there's always going to be someone above you.
Yeah.
But
just be real.
Put it out there and be real, and we're all going to support you. And if we're not supporting you, then it's the wrong group for you. So get up and leave and find the right group.
I probably should not get up and leave because
maybe not you.
It's my group.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. Next is one of my favorite parts, the built-in hype team. One of the best things about having other local photographers and friends, people that you can truly call friends or people that you have been friendly with, is people that will hype you up, people that will get you excited, people that will pick you up when you're down. I have one person in mind that, we try really hard to lift up, and it becomes challenging at a point, like when they want to fight against the positive reinforcement or the hype. And now, honestly, there was a post this week about how, the whole quit just hyping people, quit. But I think that it's so important that we have that group of people there to hype us up, to get us excited, to keep us going. Because honestly, like, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have Mia here every day, because I have a lot of days where I come in and I'm like, I suck. Like, I'm just not, I shouldn't even be here. And she's like, I don't know why you say that. Like, she tells me I'm amazing all the time, which I appreciate, but it makes me feel bad because anyway. But my point is that that's one of the benefits to having a group of photographers. And I don't like the concept of keeping your group too small. I don't like that. That's one of the downfalls. One of the frustrations I have with our group is we have a tendency to try to keep it too small. And because there's too many personalities and too many people that are like, I don't like this or I don't like that. And that kind of BS just really frustrates me. So for those of you who are listening, know that frustrates me. But just because I want to give to everybody, and I don't care if you don't like the way I think, or you don't like the way so-and-so thinks. Nobody gives a shit. We can still all be friends and family in this industry, and we can lift each other up, and we can quit being judgmental of other things. So I think that the built-in hype team, I mean, I look at like even just this week, like with the post that happened this week and how it kind of beat down on some people. And like I had a bunch of people even coming to me, and I know that he had a bunch of people coming to him saying, hey, don't listen to that crap. Just know that you're valuable, like get in it. And that was, that's more of our broad, like, I even had friends from across the state sending me messages about it. Like, so it's like having those people, knowing those people support you and are like, I'm behind you and I'm here with you. Like having that it's honestly not something I ever used to have. And so having that is really nice. And I hope that I do my own job. Well, I mean,
your friendship fees are due, but
my friendship fees are due.
But you do
you're behind on yours, so we're just gonna level it out right now. Maybe you owe me a couple grand, but yeah. So like I even I saw somebody's post yesterday about some struggles, and I reached out to them and said, hey, did I miss something? Is everything going okay? And I found out I had completely missed some stuff, and so I had an opportunity to talk to them and hopefully let them know that I cared, that I value them. And I think that that's important. I think we need to have that with us, the people that tell us, hey, it's okay. Like sometimes it hurts. Life sucks sometimes. But I also think it's really good to know that we all go through that crap. Like we all struggle with that crap. By the way, you are still on camera.
Oh, awesome.
Just so you know. Okay, you're off. Okay, next and last. This one is actually just kind of a new one. My nose itches and it's driving me nuts. I think I got another one of those hairs that's like my mustache is tickling my nose.
We'll worry about that later.
Well, everybody's like seeing me like tickle my nose. Safety net when traveling. Now, this actually just kind of became evident this last week when we were at imaging. One of our friends lost her wallet. We had a fun evening, and she was walking back and somehow became detached from her wallet. You can imagine not having your ID when traveling across the country or having to get on a plane, not having any cards for food or money, any of that stuff. And every one of us jumped in, looked for her wallet. We all figured out ways to come up with things. I had an extra card or my Venmo card, and I just let her Venmo me, and I gave her my Venmo card. We figured out she got her husband to send her passport. So, but the big thing is that we all kind of rallied around her, and we all took care of her. And those were all local people. So, well, with the exception of Tim. Tim was there. He wasn't local.
Well, and her friend who lived there, I mean, what a what
Yeah.
a blessing that was there too.
But all those people came together and helped. And though we didn't we grew a lot closer to each other on that event, but up until then, we had just had some general interactions with her, and we definitely had already identified that like she was one of those friends that you wanted to keep around, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there were still just like people doing their other things and stuff, and so we got to all kind of come together that week and kind of fix that situation. So really, there's like having people around you, and I know that pretty much all of our Idaho photographers would have stepped up and helped in any way that they could have, because they are that kind of people. And I think honestly, probably all local states, local photographers that would be that way. I know a lot of organizations like Iowa, who has an insane group of people, which most of them weren't there, and I didn't get to see them, but we got to hang out with Jamie from Iowa, which was great. But having those people there to help you, to take care of you, to just have your back when you need, I think that there's so much importance that people miss out on in networking. It blows my mind, and I think the one thing that I'll probably end with here is it shocks me to see how many photographers there are in the state of Idaho that literally don't even know that our state organization exists. They don't even know that, some of them don't even know that I as a photographer exist. I don't know that they exist, and that frustrates me because I think that we should all know about each other, and we should all have some sort of connection to each other and be able to help each other, because the world of being an entrepreneur is not an easy one. And if you're trying to build a business, like, there's people out there to help, and there's a lot of us who would literally, without question, jump in and help. All you have to do is show up and ask the question. Like, so that's I'm going to let you talk here. Actually, hold on. Let me get to the right you. There's the right you. Okay. What's your final thoughts? And what all questions do we have here? You share your last thoughts. I'm going to look through the questions.
I think for me, it's more fun in a group. Like, I know we sit here, I think as photographers, well, I know you work on your own quite a bit, and it's just so much more fun when you go out in a group, and I love to have fun. So I think that's as inspiring as it gets. I think it's more fun with more people. It
is more fun with more people. And it's, one thing that I didn't touch on is going out like just on shoots together.
I miss that.
Or like doing like personal projects together, that kind of stuff. I realized the other day, I was actually telling Mia about this. I'll switch over here to the double. The other day, I was looking through some pictures. I can't remember what I was trying to find, but I was looking through pictures from years ago. Back in my days when we used to have sports trailers and we traveled around the West Coast taking events, like doing photos at motocross races. And even then, I always had a crew of people with me. I don't like to be alone. I don't like to do anything alone. So honestly, I probably would not spend as much time in the office if you weren't here. Like if I didn't have somebody to come in and to talk to, but we bounce things off each other. She's kind of my, I tell her things and she keeps me somewhat level-headed and sometimes tells me I'm dumb. And my wife does the same thing too, but my wife just gets too passionate about it sometimes. Like, and I think that her and I butt heads with certain things. She wants to be that say.
Well, I don't have to go home with you either. I can piss you off and it's all good.
No, you can't.
I enjoy my alone time. I can go home and run.
She doesn't. Let's just put the record out there. She doesn't do well if she knows I'm mad at her.
No, I don't.
She
loses
loses her crap. And then I get messages like, "Are you mad at me? Are you gonna talk to me? Fine, I won't even talk to you then." So don't act like you're all cool and you can just piss me off and go away, because it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work.
And
I try really hard, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, I will kill your chickens.
But there is something really nice to not, like, wait, did you just say you'd
I'd kill your
attack my
chickens? I'd kill your chickens. That's the secret.
Wow.
If you ever want to get at Mia, you just...
Wow, you might, like... That was not okay.
I'm officially...
Stay away from my chickens.
If you guys
and
don't see me on
dude.
Tuesday or see me post over the next couple of days, just know that I'm buried out back.
Pretty much. Underneath the chicken coop. I'll let them just crap on you.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's
no, but
disgusting.
I think there is something valid to what you said about we take a lot of times people take their work home to their spouse, and the spouse, now your wife does the editing, Michelle does the editing, so she's more involved probably than most, but they don't really get it and they don't understand it, and they are passionate about your time and your family values and things like that. And so when you have somebody outside of that relationship that you can just bounce it off of, I think there is something valuable to that.
Well,
so
that
that you're
was-
not taking it home. I know it's a total side note, but
That was a huge struggle for you and Gary. Like,
yeah, that was one of
you
our.
couldn't really share on the same level
No.
certain things. So
No, I have ambitions and dreams and he supports them in the way that he could, but it wasn't what I needed, and yeah. But I think there is some value to having somebody outside of that marriage or if it's not a marriage, like the companionship or whatever you want to call it,
yeah.
that you can just kind of bounce all those things off. So when you leave work, you can leave work. Not that Sam ever leaves work, but
I actually do.
you've done so much better this last
I
year.
do. When I go home, this year or lately, not this year, but lately, I've been going home and working on some stuff.
Yeah,
but a lot of
you've done
times
a
I go
lot
home
better.
and I don't ever pull out my laptop. I just
And I
hang
think
out with
that's
family.
because you can get it all out here, and it's nice. Then you go home and you're just at home, and I think there's a lot of value in that too.
Yeah. It's all good. So, guys, if you haven't gotten anything from this, just know that you should find other photographers in your local area. You should become friends with them, have your group of people, not just you guys are my national people. You're my people that I have everywhere. Some of you are my local people. But you find a group of people that you can hang out with, that you can talk business with. And it's also good to have friends outside of the industry. I just don't have the capacity for enough because I got too much crap going on. I'm a mess, as you guys think.
You're
I'm
not
just
a
kidding.
mess. You just work hard and you work a lot and you're busy.
So keep that in mind. Realize and understand there is so much value in understanding who the people are in your industry and who your competitors are, who your friends are, regardless of, even if your competitors aren't your friends, it's still good to understand their business. Still good to understand what makes them tick, what drives them. Some people just are not driven. Like we were talking about this morning, not driven. We were talking about the fact that some people just don't need
Same level of success.
the same level of success that some of us do. Like I can very comfortably live off of what I do in business right now. And very comfortably. But I have ambitions, I have goals, and part of it is the learning aspect. I love learning. Like, what does it take to push it beyond? What can we do to raise the level or raise the bar for what a standard business is? Can you do that kind of business and still work it like as if it were kind of a part-time business, or have the right people in place to to run a business that is not just you working your business? So no AirPods for Tim, James says.
Yeah, because Tim said he loves fried chicken, so Tim is now banned.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. I like me some fried chicken too.
Stop.
I will get the chicken, you get the grease.
No, my chickens are my chickens.
Your
Nobody's
chickens,
having fried
your
chicken.
chickens are lunch.
No, they're not. My chickens provide you breakfast. I don't know where.
Oh yeah,
the
she
eggs are
brought
that I
me
brought,
eggs today.
But
You brought those for my wife. Those
I
aren't for
did.
me.
They're not for you.
Okay, they might be a little bit. Okay, guys, I hope you guys all have a wonderful week. I'm going to let my voice recover. It's not too bad. Hopefully we don't have any weird end of the week. We don't have no, it's the end of the month. We're good.
We're good.
Okay. I will see you guys next Tuesday. I guess I can cut
Yeah.
over to, did you have any last words?
No, we're good.
Mia has no last words. She's got no words.
No words.
Thank goodness. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
She,
I didn't even get it.
She
I was
did-
reading comments.
she
You
didn't
little
even get it.
butthole.
Do we have any questions? Like, anybody have any questions before we close out? We got a lot of comment. Holy crap.
Yeah, we were talking today.
Well, look at you go.
I don't have
Love
bad
me
chicken.
some fried chicken. Jennifer Biddle says, it's fun listening and chatting. Thank you, Sam, and chat people. Chat people. I won't eat your chickens, Mia, just the bad ones. Yeah, that's what we got. Yeah, I don't know. That's
Yeah.
what we got. That's what we got Chick-fil-A for.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds good again today.
that does.
Okay. Maybe not. Who knows? All right, guys, have a wonderful day, and we'll give you some outro music. Bam.